Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hands on SAP Dev with me, DJ Q Macro. I finally got used to saying that phrase after, I don't know, how many episodes have we had of Hands on SAP Dev? Would anyone care to guess? Put your guess in the chat. I don't know what the answer is. Put your guess in the chat. I've got a rough idea. Anyway, yes, good morning to everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Good morning, Helmut. Good morning, Dennis. Good morning to Hanover in Germany, and good morning to Belgium from Manchester. I've got my coffee. I don't have a biscuit because in my health assessment and my health check, it's all pretty much okay, apart from some slightly high cholesterol. So I'm cutting the biscuits off. So yeah, no biscuits, which is a shame, but I got my coffee. So a good job I can still drink my coffee. Oh, it's quite nice too. So good morning to Lars and Justin. Good morning, and good morning, Christian. 42, life, the universe, and everything, the answer to. Mandal, good morning to Norway, and good evening, Graham Robinson. Oh my goodness. So, I think it's fair to say that, we're honoured to have Mr. Graham Robinson, aka Robbo, in the house. Welcome, Graham. I hope you got a nice red wine when you're joining us today. So yeah, and who else have we got here? So I'm scrolling down on my thing here. Is that? Another Mandal. Welcome, another Mandal. Well, the other Mandal. Yes, the Mandal I thought it was. So good morning, Mandal and Giovanni and Satya. Fantastic. So thanks all for joining. As you can see from the title, and blush. Is that blush as in you're blushing, or you're drinking a blush wine? Quite nicely done there, Graham. Nicely done. You do. Yes. Oh, I see you're blushing because, of course, I quite rightly, honoured you in terms of, I am not worthy. I am not worthy to anybody here. Yes, another Mandal. I only found out the other day that the Cap Papa, that's the name that Volker Buzek and various other people gave him, the creator of the SAP Cloud Application Programming Model, Daniel Hutzel, is also a DJ, which is quite cool. And also I was thinking this morning, it's a while since I've sort of rambled a little bit, just enjoyed the initial few minutes rather than try and rush through. It's really nice to be with you all. Hey, Pavan, good morning, and Jagadish too. Welcome. So I've got my OData? Sorry, O-authored 8 a.m. mug, which is the Hands on SAP Dev super special mug. And I'm really looking forward to this new, I suppose you'd call it a new series, a new mini-series exploring SAP Graph. I don't know much about it, which is partly the point. I think on, where was it? On, here we go, here's Twitter. On Twitter, I think it was Srinivas that said that he enjoyed me sort of stumbling, these are my words, stumbling around in the dark, and the thinking process and the learning together process. So I'm going to embrace that a little bit more as well. Morton, very good, nicely done, Morton. Yes, just to get my blood running faster in the morning. Data. That's what Brenton O'Callaghan says, isn't it? Yes, just to annoy DJ. Shreyas, good morning. So yeah, really cool. So let's start exploring SAP Graph together. We're not going to explore it all in this one episode. We'll have a number of episodes, right? So anyway, let me switch to the main scene. And it's a long time since I've used lolcat in my tmux. Get some lolcat in your tmux, as they say. But yeah, I'm gonna go through. I've got a few things to share, as well as the developer news. And of course, we were doing developer news on this channel, before the developer news. But yeah, so here's the latest developer news. So check it out. That was out today, and in there I refer to. Where is it? This blog post number 3 from Chaim Bendelak, awesome person, and we probably may reach this one. I'm not sure, but you know, we're going to build up to it. I don't know. I don't know how long this is going to be. So yeah, there's all sorts of things to learn about SAP Graph. It's quite an interesting concept. Has anybody looked into SAP Graph already? Of course, it was announced. Was it about a year ago or something? And it's been sort of in gestation for a while. But I was very excited to see this new set of blog posts talking us through it, and you can kick the tires in the API Business Hub. So that's what we're going to do. And one of the other things that I've noticed is that it's using all sorts of normal stuff that we all know and love, like OData, like OAuth, like Business Technology Platform. So it's a chance for us to sort of practice, you know, to meditate on this stuff, and also learn some new cool stuff at the same time. So that's what the intention is. So so there's the SAP Developer News. We'll close that one there. This one here from my friend and colleague Brian Bernard. Let me share that with you as well. This is a reference to like a quarterly roundup of various SAP sample repos. And as I was looking through this, I would definitely recommend you check this out. And there's all sorts of updates to repos from wonderful people, including Cyril and Stefan and Tom and Maximilian Streifeneder. Do you recognize that name, anybody? Our old friend Max. And of course, Rich, who we just saw in the SAP Developer News. There's Rich there in his baseball cap. Marius as well, you know, all sorts of people, wonderful people. Kevin, another developer advocate. And by the way, I think I've shared this before, but developers.sap.com, I think we've now got a link. We've got a link to our developer advocates page. Da, da, da. So I'm going to share that with you as well. Oh, so much sharing today, it's ridiculous. There we go. So there's the developer advocates. Andy Lawrence, good morning. And Andy Lawrence says that Graph was first shown at Techa 2019. My goodness me. So yeah, over a year ago, a year and a half ago, at least. So it's great that we're moving on up. So there's the advocates community. I won't close that. So there's a roundup. And yeah, as I was looking through this, I noticed that there is an SAP samples repo for some of the code that we're going to look at in the SAP Graph multi-part tutorial. So let's remind ourselves to go there when we're ready. Okay, so there's the quarterly roundup from Brian, and it's also got a couple of links to the SAP Samples Spotlight series on the YouTube channel. There is Brian and me talking to Tobias Sorn about the UI5 service worker, and also then to Cristiano Hager about all sorts of cool stuff with SAP HANA Cloud and SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. So much stuff, right? So there we go. That's that. Developer news. And also, my friend and colleague Riley, he put out a blog post yesterday, about the new free tier plans. I've not read that yet, so I'm going to read that later today, but I thought I'd share that with you as well. Let me just put this CVTP, there we go. Vic C. Yeah, there's my little C thing there. I use that to post live broadcast chat, LBC. There we go. So that's what I'm using to sort of talk to the YouTube chat API. Anyway, right. So I think that's enough rambling and news. Let's just start, right, by sort of figuring out where things are. In the news item today, and also a couple of weeks ago, I think I used this graphic here. And basically, if you haven't heard what SAP Graph is, and also anybody in the chat, let us know, share what you know about SAP Graph and what you think it is. Not what you think it is, it's not a test, but, give your thoughts about it. But basically, I think this is quite a good first sentence, right? SAP Graph is a new unified and consolidated API for SAP's integrated intelligence suite. It's quite a mouthful, but what it basically is If you think of SAP's portfolio, we have S4HANA, we've got SAP Sales Cloud, we've got SAP Ariba, we've got SAP Concur, SAP SuccessFactors, and other stuff as well. Other products are available. And as they say on the TV somehow. And there are data models across each of them. They're not necessarily aligned because these systems have been built sort of separately, independently in many cases. And SAP Graph, its mission, I suppose you would say, is let's dig into that C-alias in a second, Morten. Yeah, that its mission is to unify API access to this stuff, to the data, to the business data. I think I've briefly read through these blog posts here, and one of the examples that comes to mind. Let me know if you can think of another example. But you have sales and products and sales orders and customers, business partners, but you also have quotes, right? And these quotes, as a specific example, sales quote, a customer quote, doesn't live in S4HANA. It lives in SAP Sales Cloud, right? So without SAP Graph, without the concept of this unified layer, coordinated layer, you as a developer writing an application, writing a side-by-side extension on a business technology platform or whatever, right? You'd have to know where things were. You'd have to work out the foreign key relationships and, sort of normalize the properties and what's that over there? Is this over here? And things like that. It's stuff we do. It's not, it's not impossible, but it sort of gets in the way, I think, of us concentrating on the business domain, right? What we're trying to do, regardless of where that data and where that functionality lives. So that, I think, to me, is what this sentence means. This, where is it? Unified and consolidated API. So you can read this one. Did I share a link to this? This is probably the best link to share. Did I share that? No, I didn't. Let's share that because this gives you a link to the available tutorials, which are in the form of blog posts. And you can see coming soon, we're going to start looking at business logic and so on. So this post was written by Stephanie, and these 3 posts here, part 1, 2, and 3, are written by Chaim. We're going to start looking at the first one here. Now, Morten says, was wondering about the C-alias. So yeah, I have a number of things. Let's just look at that again. All that is I generate a live chat payload, and this, if you look at the YouTube API, the payload is basically, it needs to be JSON, but I hate writing JSON in script, so I write YAML and then use YQ to parse a YAML and spit out JSON because that's a lot neater. And I use I've got some various sort of settings here, the YouTube API base. You can send messages to the live chat endpoint, and yeah, it's all good. And in fact, I've also got this Vic LBL. That's the live broadcast list. So when I go live, I need to grab the ID of the live broadcast so I know which one to pick. Okay, so that's that as well. You'll find those actually, if you're interested, Morten, github.com qmacro.files. You'll find those in my script directory there. So there's C, and there's LBL, for example, and life, which will, not life, what's it called? T refresh, T request, and T life. Those are all to do with the token that you have to request because it's OAuth based as well, right? So there we go. Hey, Hamza, welcome, Hamza. And Mandel says, as an answer to the question I was asking, what is Graph? Graph will solve all our problems. Well, not all our problems. It won't lower my cholesterol. But I think it's a really, really interesting idea in the right direction, and I'm quite excited. Literally, not literally, yeah, literally, as in genuinely is the word. Excited in exploring this with you. So that's that. So why don't we dig in straight away and have a look at this introduction to SAP Graph? Okay. So SAP Graph is that's the that seems to be the tag phrase for using it all everywhere. Here's a good diagram. Can we open that a little bit bigger? Let's make that bigger. There. So this is what I'm sort of saying, right? Over at the top, we got the people, like you and me, and we got various apps. They might be, or even services. And right at the bottom in the yellow, we got our SAP Intelligent Enterprise, which, is a umbrella term, I think, in my mind, to all the different products in SAP's portfolio. So you can see S4, customer experience, success factors, Ariba, ... ellipsis. Okay. Can you please guide with a use case for SAP Graph? Yeah, well, in fact, that's a really good question, Suresh. So I think in here, Chaim has a use case. Was there a use case? Yeah, there we go. So we've got here. Let's jump down. Here we go. Yes, I do remember this. So to illustrate this business graph. So in fact, before we talk about the use case, let's be clear as well. We're talking about SAP Graph, which I think reminds me a little bit of there's an initiative from Microsoft called Microsoft. I think it's called Microsoft Graph as well. Similar sort of thing, right? It's a top layer, a unified layer across all sorts of different business entities in potentially different systems. But what SAP Graph and Microsoft Graph is anything to do with GraphQL, right? GraphQL is a completely different beast. There are only so many words in the world, so it just so happens that these things are potentially confusing. But GraphQL is not what this is. GraphQL, I'm going to be careful here because I'm not a fan of GraphQL, but GraphQL is a protocol, a data access protocol, an API protocol, and set of tools that is sort of a different side of the coin to the RESTful HTTP-based approach. In many ways, GraphQL abuses HTTP and makes easy things difficult, right? Anyway, DJ, don't go down that track. Don't go down that track. Maybe we'll save that for another time. But maybe we should explore GraphQL together as well and see what it really is all about. Anyway, so hey Sachin, hey, and Guru Devendranath, good afternoon to you as well, and Samueli, good afternoon, or good morning even. Hi, implements a sort of API gateway pattern. Yes, it's like an API gateway pattern. Yeah, that's a good way of describing GraphQL. Okay, as in you could have potentially multiple APIs, HTTP-based APIs or whatever, sitting behind, and GraphQL consolidates those, but in a really complex way, right? Mind you, the problem space is complex too. So too many intelligent stuff needs to be unified by GraphQL. Hey Hussein, hey, welcome. Hey, right, and Max, we mentioned you before as well. Fantastic. Okay, so just to go back to who was it that asked for an example? Yeah, Suresh. So. I think this example from Chaim is quite a simple example, but it's cool, right? So it's best if we start with a simple example taken from the enterprise world of sales. A salesperson enters a quote on behalf of a customer, right? So this quote is represented by a customer quote entity in this domain here. We'll talk about domains in a minute. The quote has an association to a customer. Obviously, a quote is for a specific customer. And that customer entity lives in a different domain. It lives in the business partner domain. And of course, the quote has a number of items, a number of children, quote items. And each of those is about a product. So I'm quoting you for this product, and this product. And those products live in the product domain. And of course, products are potentially either manufactured or from suppliers. So you've got a relationship between product and supplier. Now, this wonderful graph here, let's call it a graph, is exactly the business domain model that we need to know about as a developer, right? But what it doesn't show is where this stuff is. Okay, and this is what the SAP Graph initiative is trying to make easier for us. It will provide a way for us as developers and administrators to translate this sort of abstract layer, this one domain model of different business entities with the relationships between these entities, to where they actually exist in the Intelligent Suite systems. So if I remember rightly, the customer quote doesn't live in, so for example, the customer lives in S4HANA, SAP S4HANA. The product lives in SAP S4HANA, but the customer quote lives in SAP Sales Cloud. Okay, so there's an example of this idea of SAP Graph providing a single one, as in ODM, one domain model, where the entities in this particular graph here, a subset of that model, reside, belong to, are at rest in these different systems. So I think that's. I hope that, Suresh, let me know if that explains things. So here we go. So SAP Graph. So here we go. With SAP Graph, you navigate to and access the data you need, regardless of where this data resides. SAP Graph abstracts. It's almost like I've been reading this. SAP abstracts the physical landscape and the details of the different product stacks, and offers you a simple view of the SAP managed data, which you can access through a single API and ODM. ODM stands for one data model. Es kann nur eins geben. Where's that quote from? One data model spanning all key use cases. So SAP Graph accesses the data in the customer configured landscape on your user's behalf. Now that is a really interesting sentence. That to me, and to you maybe, is like super heavy laden with a lot of, but how does it do that? How do we configure that? What? There's a lot of stuff in there, right? That's what that sentence jumps out to me. It's like, what do you mean? How does it work? And hopefully we'll figure out over the course of this little series, I've no idea how yet, because I don't know yet, how that works. But that seems a super critical thing. So Mandal says, and the customer cholesterol is stored in an Oracle system. The customer cholesterol, yes, the DJ's cholesterol is stored in my body, which I don't want it to be stored in. So Lars said, so it's like SE11 but for the cloud. I quite like that. SE11 but for the cloud. I suppose it's what? Yeah. Well, no. Because SE11 is only intra-system, isn't it? SE11, for those not aware, is the data dictionary, one of them. No, it's the main data dictionary transaction, with which you define structures and types and domains and data elements and tables and clusters, but only within a single system. So imagine SE11 for, across the board. But nice one, Lars, nice one. Okay, so the above illustration shows your app accessing quote, product, customer, and supplier data, but the app cannot tell if this data is accessed from an on-premises or on-prem SAP S4HANA system, SAP Sales Cloud. I think, is it SAP Sales Cloud is what C4HANA used to be called, right? If I think that's right. Just for those who, like me, are like, what? Yeah. Or another system like SAP Ariba. Okay. If you want to learn more about SAP Ariba, follow Antonio Madariaga. Antonio Maradiaga. My brother-in-law has a surname Madariaga, but Antonio is Maradiaga. Check out Antonio's blog posts all about Ariba and APIs and everything. It's amazing. So Max, in fact, I'm going to give you, Max, the task of digging up some of Antonio's blog posts and putting them in the chat. Okay, so to access data, this is where it gets exciting, right? To access data from the business graph, SAP Graph currently supports the OData v4 protocol. So we get to play with OData, and we get to use the beauty of the selectability and the flexibility of what OData as a protocol and a data description language, description request language can do. You know, all these folks like dissing REST and HTTP because they think, oh, all I can do is just grab this massive thing and then I'll just pick one thing and then grab another thing. Learn about OData, for goodness sake. Anyway, SAP Graph support for GraphQL is planned in the future. All I can think of now is the phrase, know your enemy. Anyway, as we see, OData RESTful APIs consume, OData requires operate on resources, the data, and extends with query options. So this is all familiar to us, right? Anybody who's done anything, related to hands-on SAP Dev will know about OData. And the resources of SAP Graph are the entities of the OData, the one data model business graph. So there's nothing new really for us to learn from an API perspective, right? What I think is going to be important to learn, what time is it? Oh yeah, is what it means in reality to us, how we get to kick the tires, and also, and I've read through these blog posts very briefly, only very briefly, and I do get the impression that there is a distinct distinction, a specific distinction between like developer and administrator. I think for many of us, certainly me, I feel as though I wear both hats. So everything we read, both from an administrative perspective and a developer perspective, I want to know about. So, for example, going back to that sentence before, which I don't know where it is anymore. Oh, there we go. It's still highlighted. Awesome. Accesses the data in the customer configured landscape on your user's behalf. So who configures what, where, and how, right? We've got this abstraction layer, this beautiful one data model. But at the end of the day, it's got to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like filter down, become real in the actual individual systems. So my question to myself, and maybe your question as well. You can't paste. Oh, sorry, Max. Yes. Let's go. Antonio Maradiaga, Ariba API. There we go. GitHub. What's the best thing? Let's just post a link to one of his blog posts here. And yeah, there we go. Bong. There. So that will give you, I'm sure, all sorts of everything we need to find other things about what Antonio has written about SAP Ariba, right? So Samuel says, so SAP Graph implements the API gateway pattern too. Yes. One single call to SAP Graph and SAP Graph retrieves data from many backends. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And there are translations, I'm guessing, sort of property level translations between different things. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking in theory, right? And Pavan, welcome, Pavan. Pavan says, but how can we get the custom fields added through extension suite? Like for I'll read that out properly. But how can we get the custom fields added through extension suite? Like for example, in the business partner of S4HANA on premises from the SAP Graph. Now, that's a super question. And we're not quite at the discovery level yet to be able to answer that. But my guess, having been digging around a little bit, is it's going to be related to this phrase here. Maybe the next thing we should do is we'll kick the tires on the API Business Hub in a minute, because that's what I think this tutorial gets us to do. But also to use a phrase from in the UK, there's a classic TV series from the 80s called Only Fools and Horses. Anyway, there's a phrase called let the dog see the rabbit, as in just get out of the way and just let me get at it, right? And I think we want to let the dog see the rabbit and go and try and find where SAP Graph is from a business technology platform standpoint, and just instantiate an instance of the service, just to sort of get a little bit closer to the answer to your question, Pavan, which I think is going to be, where do we configure our individual systems? C11, our SAP R3 system over there, S4HANA system on premise. Our SAP Ariba system over there. We've also got some system in the cloud somewhere, right? We've got to, at some stage, define what I'm thinking are going to be destinations on business technology platform that our SAP Graph service tenant can use to access these actual systems, to resolve these calls as reality kicks in and it says, well, that thing's over there and that thing's over there, and I've joined them together, right? So SAP Graph is going to need that sort of thing. But also what it's going to need, I think, is the ability to say, well, that field over there, we've got this one domain model, this unified, I think that was a word that was used right at the start, the unified domain model. So a field over there in that system gets translated to, field X over there gets translated into field Y over here in the actual domain model. So my guess is that is also how you say, well, actually, there's also another field over there, a Z field, to take your example, there's a business partner extension and you've got some custom fields, a customer specific set of fields or a structure, right? In theory, I'm guessing that is where you would then say, oh, and by the way, there's this extension here. These fields, I want to have an extension in my one domain model that I'm defining in my SAP Graph tenant, in my customer configured landscape. But we'll find out, right? Hopefully that answer, it's not a completely full answer because I don't know yet. But that's what my guess is, right? After several years, still only very few business objects are available in the ODM. Christian, that could be the case. I don't know. I'm not doubting you, but also, it was announced in 2019, so it's been in gestation for a while, but I think it's still a worthy cause to follow. And, now it's reality, and now we can start kicking the tires. I think we should, have a look at it, right? Do you agree? So, because it holds a lot of promise, I think. You're welcome, Pavan. So, the above illustration. Okay, so exploring SAP Graph on SAP API Business Hub. By the way, it took me ages to remember whether it was SAP Business API Hub or SAP API Business Hub. And the only way I remember it is because, as I'm about to say, I think ABC, API Business Hub. Anyway, the SAP Graph API is documented on SAP API Business Hub, right? And we have, okay, so this is interesting as well. I think we also should take the opportunity to see if we can create an SAP Graph instance and see how far we get. It might do nothing, right? But let's just find it together. But we have also pre-configured a free SAP Graph tenant with access to an SAP managed landscape with sandbox data. We refer to this SAP Graph tenant as a sandbox. You can use it to study this documentation and interactively explore the API and dataset. The exposed sandbox is currently small, but it will be rapidly expanded. In a later part of this tutorial, we will discuss how to configure your own SAP Graph tenant to access your own corporate data. Okay, so let's go to the SAP API Business Hub. Let's go over there. Log in. So this takes us, right? So that link takes us straight to, let me log in for a second. Log in. Hi, Blue, right? This is one of my, test things for this sort of purpose. So this is just, sorry, that was a very flippant comment. Basically, this is my Q macro, what is it? Settings. This is my Q macro blue at gmail.com trial account, especially for sort of hands-on SAP dev, so I can destroy things and recreate them. So, You just need a trial account, log into SAP's API Business Hub, and we can see, first of all, from the URL, right? From the URL, I think it's quite important, to, again, just to understand how to navigate the API Hub. I'm going to say API Hub. SAP Graph is a package, right? That, I think we talked about this on the previous thing. This icon here, a bit weird, but that is a package of APIs, and that thing there is an API, right? So there's a package, it's an API, and this package has 4 APIs. I mean, an API is to me is an endpoint, but this API on API Business Hub is a collection of endpoints. You know, terminology. And we've got business partner, procurement, product, and sales, right? That's what's available to us right now to kick the tires off. What's it saying here? Sale, click on one of them, for instance, SAP ODM. So, right, okay, so let's follow the sales thing. So we got OData v2 API. OData v2? I thought it was OData v4. Interesting. Didn't it say OData v4? Oh well, we'll find out, won't we? Beta version, beta, beta, beta. This is the new. Let's link back to the classic design, just so that we can follow, because that looks like the classic design there. Let's just go back to the classic design. Graph, bang. There we go. Microsoft Graph. Ooh. SAP Graph. There. Sales, OData API. So this is super familiar to us, right? Because we've played around with various APIs in the API Business Hub. Access the SAP One Domain Model Sales Domain. And the path, or the path info, I think I've called this before, part of the URL in this API, seems to start SAP ODM Sales and then / entity. So we've got SAP ODM Sales, then customer within sales, and then customer order and customer quote. What happens if we go back to the thing here? Artifacts, product. Yeah, SAP ODM product. Oh, there's only one. What are we calling this? It's not an artifact, is it? It's an entity. So there's only one entity in products. Procurement sounds exciting, but there's only one entity. Supplier and business partner, probably the most common. There's only one entity there, right? So far, for our exploration perspective, that seems enough, right? For now. Okay, so what are we saying here? Have a look, play around, yeah, just do some things. Okay, cool. All right, good. 8:38. That's good. Time seems to be going slower than expected, which is great because it gives us the ability to do more. So let's have a look. This is normal, right? We've done all this before. So let's go back to, the sales artifact or resource. Resource? I don't know. Customer. Yeah, customer. Let's go to the customer. Try out. Let's have 5 customers. Let's just click execute and see what happens, right? Hemsagar, hello, welcome back to Hands on SAP Dev. I've not seen you. Have I seen you for a while? I don't know, but welcome anyway, Hemsagar. So the response, we've done it. Did I do the execute? Yes, we did, right? Okay, so the execute has happened. Shall I make that a little bit bigger? We can't really see that, can we? Let's make that over there, right? Okay, cool. So that's quite a nice URL. So this is the SAP API Hub sandbox system. Remember right at the top, the API environment. As we know, we played around with API environments on SAP API Business Hub before. And in fact, I don't have any environments as blue there, right? So we're just using the sandbox environment. And everything seems to be prefixed with SAP Graph. Fine. Well, everything is only one example, but I'm guessing that SAP Graph is like the root part of the path. And then we have what are we calling this? The domain? What are we calling that? Terminology is really important, I think. Domain. Yeah, domain. Click on the domain. So we've got the SAP ODM sales domain, and then we have, as the last part of the path, the customer as an entity, right? This, I don't know about you, but this looks a bit weird to me. Why has that been URL encoded? Who knows? I'm sure everybody knows, right? Put in the chat what that should be or what that is when it's not URL encoded, right? Clue. Here's a clue. Oh no, that's OAuth. Clue is OData. Right? Anyway, so we got the response. And, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'll wait for somebody to put what that %24 is in URL decoded form. But when we turned on, let's go back to here. Let's turn on the new SAP API Business Hub, right? When we turn that on, Graph, go to the SAP Graph API package, unified API to SAP managed data. It said OData v2, which made me scratch my head a little bit because in the documentation, it says SAP Graph currently supports the OData v4 protocols. I think this is a slight problemette, a slight mistake. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? And oh, it's even written there as well. What's going on? Oh well, we'll find out. Let's after this, I'll find somebody in the wonderful SAP Graph team or the API Business Hub team and find out what's going on. Because let's do that again. Let's go through here, view API references. Andy Lawrence with the answer. %24 is the $sign exactly. So $top. Just give me the first N. OData, right? This is OData's standard system query option. Why it would be encoded? Does that normally happen in the API Business Hub when you do a tryout and it does it all for you through the Swagger thing? I can't remember. Dennis says it as well, yes. Wow, the delay, the sort of live streaming delay is longer than I thought. I was slightly panicking, thinking, I've asked a stupid question, or people are thinking it's so trivial that they're not even going to answer, but I think it was just a delay, right? Let's try on product, for example. Get product. What? Where's the tryout? Can I not try out on the thing here? What? Why can't I try out? Where's the tryout button? Hi, blue. What? Go back. Oh, well, let's go back to the thing anyway. Because Graph. Okay, thanks, Morton, for confirming. So I'm not going mad. Yeah, it does feel a bit odd. Let's go back to sales. Well, let's go product. So maybe, I don't know, wait, the lack of tryout in the new API design, Business Hub design. Can I try it out here? Yes, I can try it out. Oh, well. Interesting. I've not really used the new design much, so I don't know whether the lack of tryout is a temporary thing or you just can't do the tryout there. I don't know. Let's stick to what we know. Tryout. Actually, that's a terrible thing to say, DJ. Let's stick to what we know. That's not what we do here on SAP Hands-on SAP Dev. We try new things, but we can't try out there. So anyway, DJ, stop rambling. Try out product. Let's go for 5 products. Execute. Yeah, it's done it again there. Anyway, okay, so. But can anybody tell me what this response suggests to us? Apart from the fact that there are some products, right? In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. If it was OData v2, there's a certain top level sort of property node that you would see. It's a classic, it's a bit of a weird design, but it's just been there forever, right, with OData v2. What is metadata of the service, V2 or V4? Can we get the metadata of the service? Can we get the metadata? Details. Download API specification. JSON. Product. Where's that gone? Desktop. What is it? SAP. In fact, let's use FX. External. Oh, this is not the metadata, is it? No. What is it? Info. What? External infos. Open API servers. I've no idea what I'm doing here. No. This is the. Ooh, that's interesting. EU30.graph.sap. Anyway, I don't know what the metadata is. But I suppose what we could do is access. Can we get the metadata from the API Business Hub? Am I just view schema? No, I don't want a schema. What are we doing? Can I get the metadata? There is test view in what? Christian says there is a test view in the header of the page. This is where the tryout now. Right. Thank you, Christian. A bit weird that the design is the same, but there's a tryout button is a different place. But cool. Thank you, Christian. In fact, let's have a look. SAP Graph. SAP Graph product. Oh, try out. Try out, DJ. So it's a different type of tryout. Okay. Fair enough. This looks a bit more like a Postman layout, doesn't it? Quite nice. Quite nice. Thank you, Christian. We are learning together. Download the API specification. Did I not download the EDMX? I thought I downloaded the EDMX. Let's go to overview, API specification, EDMX. Oh, I downloaded the JSON, didn't I? What a fool. Mind you, if they're equivalent just in different formats, who knows? Desktop, SAP EDMX. There we go. Well done. See, this is what I love about Hands-on SAP Dev. It's you and me in it together, right? Can you speak German? You work in a German company. Ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch, aber ein bisschen eingerostet, sage ich mal. Schon kein Deutsch mehr gesprochen. Und ja, kaum eine Möglichkeit zu üben. But there we go. So yeah, if you want to write German in there, put that in as well. Yes, there we go. So this is version 4. So Samueli, nice call. Oh, sorry. Yes, nice call. But also, this is an explicit way of seeing that it's not OData v2, it's OData v4, as Chaim said in the post. However, let's go back. I'm using like zoom level 110% on the browser so you can see it a little bit better, and this is a little bit big. So I'll do this again. Graph. I'll keep switching. I'll stop switching, DJ. But anyway, SAP Graph. This looks a little bit neater for this sort of thing. Customer. Yeah, that'll do. Customer doesn't really matter. Let's go for one customer, 2 customers. Execute. What I was saying was, or what I was suggesting. Maybe somebody said it already. If you know the word eingerostet, then your German is not rusty at all. Oh, I don't know, Christian. What I was looking for, what I was thinking was, in this response body, what is missing is the D. Who knows what the D, what I mean with D? The D in, I suppose we could... Services, Oasis, OData, North, Wind. Where's the... I've not used it for ages. Services.odata.org, is it? What? Hello? Yes, there we go. Read-only service. V2. If we look at V2, products, we get XML, of course, but if we say format, $format, equals JSON. D. That to me is the biggest clue that a resource in JSON representation, let's use HTTP, let's embrace the whole concept of representational state transfer, right? So the resource here, the product's resource, in its JSON representation has a JSON version 2 representation. Okay, but here we don't get a D. Okay, so that's the way my brain works out. Hey Barack, no more issues from you, Barack. I'm quite disappointed. I was looking forward to you raising another one so we could play around with that as well. But anyway, think of one. So that's fine. Now it's 8:51. I reckon we should stop messing around here and have a look to see if we can get. Somebody told me that the SAP Graph service is available on trial, right? I've already read it somewhere. Ooh, hello, balloons. What? Hello? Oh, yeah, cool. Very good. Do not show this again. Thank you very much. Close. For next week. Okay, for next week. Well, next week. Have we got an exciting episode for you next week? I think it was certainly Andrew Barnard. Is Andrew here today? I don't think he is. Suggested, in a conversation with other people as well, it'd be really cool to have an episode on ABAP and the history of ABAP, where it's come from, but also where it's going to, right? The future history. And Rich Heilman has been working behind the scenes to shepherd a number of people together to come on Hands on SAP Dev. So, fingers crossed, Friday 9th of July, a week today, same time as usual, we'll have an episode on the history of ABAP and the future of ABAP. So check it out. Last question. Can SAP Graph help England against Ukraine? Oh my goodness. Well, the response I will give to that, Mandal, is that I don't care because it's the wrong shaped ball. I'm not really into football. Sorry, soccer. Rugby anytime, but football, yeah. Howdy all. Hey Ronnie, howdy. A bit late to the party, so I guess there'll be another replay. Ronnie, don't worry. You are never late. You are never late. By the way, if anybody... We used to do this. I'd completely forgotten, right? Oh, got some stamps here as well. Ready. We used to do this a lot, didn't we? I've got loads of these stickers. Developers.sap.com. And I've got a few, well, maybe more than a few, Hands on SAP Dev stickers. Check them out. And these are from the wonderful Ronnie Sletter, right? So Ronnie created these for us all. So if anybody wants some stickers, I've got two very rare cap stickers, right? If anybody wants any stickers, DM me on Twitter, or contact me privately another way with your what's it called, your mail, your mail address, and I'll post you some. Because why not? Because stickers. So let me know. So if we have a look into my trial account here, Chris, it sounds very cool. ABAP in Hands on SAP Dev. Yes. Oh, what? Hello. It's my favourite feature of BTP Cockpit. Come on. Trial account. Service instances, what? 3? What's that? What have I got already? Ah, this was, yeah, of course, because we've been playing around with enterprise messaging, haven't we? So there's our SAP Event Mesh, now it's called. Oh, EM, Event Mesh, Enterprise Messaging, still fits. Destination, XSUA, fine. We'll leave those there. Let's go to the Service Marketplace. By the way, hello. Sorry, I've just, not into football, sorry, sucker. That's rude, DJ. Morton, very funny. Soccer, not sucker. See, with my Mancunian accent, my northern accent, you can tell the difference between soccer and sucker. Even to India. Srinivas. Hey, Srinivas, welcome. Even to India. Even what to India? I don't understand what that means. Sorry. There should be open SAP course on SAP Graph. Maybe they're planning one. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were planning one. Right? Let's do another run on stickers this autumn. Yes, exactly. So yeah. So let me know about stickers if you want one. So 49 in here. Graph. Oh, cryptographic keys. That's where the word graph comes from there. So we don't have it, but I understand that it's in beta, and beta features on here are disabled. So I'm going to, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to edit this and enable beta features. What's this say there? You cannot disable this once you've enabled it. Okay, fine. I don't want to. Save. Now, I don't think that's going to make a difference, right? If we have a look in services, service marketplace, what was it, 49 or 47 or something before? Up here. 60. Oh, 60. My goodness. Graph. It's not there. However, a little bird told me that it is available. You just have to add it explicitly in the enablement. So let's do that. Stickers. Even to India. Yes, even to India, Srinivas. Yes, as long as you give me the right address in the right format so I know how to write it on the envelope, because I'm rubbish, you know, as in where the new lines are, as it were. Yeah, of course. Even to India, especially to India. Event mesh, another microservice terminology. Somewhere, yes, event mesh. Istio. Right? Is that what you're thinking of? Istio? Can BTP use JDBC Connect to HANA? Ooh, that's a random question. I don't know. I'm not a HANA person very much. Certainly not at the database connectivity level. So I will find out for you and let you know next week, Frankie, if that's all right. Can BTP use JDBC Connect to HANA? I don't know. I'd be guessing. So let's go into entitlements and see if we can find add service plans. Graph. There it is. SAP Graph. Available plans. Beta. It's beta all the way. Beta all the way down. Add one SAP service plan. SAP service plan. One service plan. What? Hello? SAP Graph. Beta. What's that tick there? Assign quota. One shared units. I think we're good. I think that's right. Save. Saving entitlements. Come on, come on, come on. This might be a good place to end once we've saved it and they can see it and then instantiate a thing. And then the next Hands on SAP Dev will start hacking around on it. So, Service Marketplace, come on. What's going on? 61. Graph, SAP Graph. There we go. So, OData v4. Oh, it's not capital V4. It's v small v dot 4 now. SAP Graph's unified API. Blah 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 blah. Documentation. Now, let's click on that link because it opens it. This is really cool. We've not looked at this either. I'll share this with you. Have a look at it. But let's create an instance. SAP Graph, service, beta, Cloud Foundry, dev space. Choose a CLI friend. This is my favorite of all time placeholder. Choose a CLI friendly name for your instance because CLIs are important, right? So I'll call it Graph Beta. That's quite a cool name. It's like sci-fi. Next. I haven't got any JSON to specify. Next. Service instance creation is in progress. Let's go there. So what I would suggest, it's 9 o'clock now. Let's finish here. I would suggest you all also go to your trial account, add the entitlement, create an instance, and see what you can find. You know, I don't know yet. Maybe we won't find much yet, but even not finding something is still finding something. It's discovering what the limits are. You know, it's like when you go into a dark room and you want to feel around to feel where the walls are before you can work out, you know, what to do next. That's what we want to do. Yes, Ronnie makes a very good suggestion. Thomas Young is very active on Twitter, so you'll probably get a good answer there. You certainly won't get a good answer from this idiot here. That's what Ronnie's saying, really, which is fine because it's true. But I love Ronnie. So Ronnie's allowed to say that. So there we go. So creation in progress. Let's leave it there. And it's because obviously you've all got meetings to go to and everything. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Like I say, next Friday is not the next episode of this, but we'll have this extracurricular ABAP past, present and future thing. So yeah, I will see you then. Bye for now.